Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. So question for you, do you have all your paperwork filed correctly for your retirement, for your future, and the future of your loved ones? That's the subject of today's video. And in fact, there was a fascinating article in the Wall Street Journal today. I'll tell you the story. So basically there was this guy, they were young, they were like early 20s. He meets a girl and they move in together, right? They move in together, he gets a job at Procter & Gamble, P&G. She gets a job as a waitress, and when it comes out to filling his early paperwork on who's going to be the benefactor for his retirement, he puts her name down as a cohabiter, right? So they're not married, they're just living together. After 2 years, she actually moves out, gets married, has a couple kids with someone else, right? So he's not with her, but her name stays on the paperwork. He actually ended up living with someone else, did not get married, did not have kids, and ultimately passed away. The issue becomes, right, who gets the retirement money? Because the paperwork was filed, and I think it was like a handwritten note in his essentially first girlfriend from a long time ago. She's entitled to get, I think it's like $1 million now. He has a couple brothers who are saying, no, we should be the benefactors. We're family, our brother didn't intend to leave all his money to this girlfriend that he never married, and in fact, they basically broke up. And what's at stake is not only his retirement money, but I guess he has a house, some BMWs, and a couple cats. Unfortunately, this is a more common occurrence than I would like to talk about. And what I mean that I've seen it happen not only in my life, but in other people's life as well. If you guys don't know, unfortunately, my mom passed away a few months ago, and I just saw my brothers and sisters bickering about all kinds of stuff. I just don't get involved with that stuff because I just don't want to be involved. But your situation may or may not have these kind of experiences. I'm just telling you guys, make sure your paperwork is filed correctly and make sure you're planning for your future. Oftentimes the decisions that we make in our 20s can last with us for the rest of our lives, be it getting married to the wrong person, be it having kids too early, be it filing the wrong paperwork, be it not even thinking about said paperwork and completely forgetting about it. And that's why I'm bringing it up to you is, make sure everything's done correctly. Check all of your bank accounts, check your brokerages, right? Check your work, retirement, pension, these kind of things. You may thought like, hey, maybe during orientation, you just filed the paperwork or whatever, and you've completely forgotten all about that stuff. This kind of stuff is just part of life. Things can happen unexpectedly. And, usually when I bring up these topics with people, and I understand it, people don't really want to talk about if something bad happens to you or something like that. I mean, it's not really a pleasant conversation, but it's a smart conversation to have, right? And it's one you want to have. The other thing too I was thinking about as well is when you have these conversations is who do you include in said conversations, and ultimately who you're going to leave whatever assets that you have. That's going to be obviously your decision. But these are very, very sensitive topics. I mean, you're talking about real money and things like that. Probably one of the things that regret's the right word. That's not really the right word. I'll just say, I wish I would have taken more seriously when I was in my early 20s, is thinking about retirement and the future, right? I remember I had various people that were older than me, show you charts of hey, if you start, investing and saving early, you're gonna, make a ton of money later on. For me, it wasn't until college that I started thinking about this stuff more seriously. And for other people out there, and this is just the way it is these days with kids, you have, say, high school students, watching this stuff on YouTube. The earlier you can sort of acquaint yourself with this kind of stuff, the better. Moreover, understand that paperwork really matters, and people take this stuff seriously. I'll give you an example. I was thinking about the paperwork situation. Insurance companies, they always look for any kind of excuse to not pay. For those of you who have any kind of dealing with insurance companies, you'll know exactly what I'm saying, right? And don't automatically assume anything when it comes to money. Don't automatically assume that people will have your best interest at heart. Don't automatically assume that you just think or hope that someone else is going to do the right thing. Kind of what I've learned in life is just always assume that everything's going to go wrong, and so do your best that you can to protect yourself, be it file the right paperwork, right? Be it, here's another one, in these kind of situations, my opinion is always hire like a third party to, enact whatever actions that you have for your will. Some people like, hey, I want my eldest son or my eldest daughter to handle all of the, estate stuff, but like, it just gets too messy. You're way better off just going with third party. And also too, making things really, really clear. Even the smallest things, people fight over. I've seen and I've heard of some really crazy stuff happening. And like this particular situation that we're talking about now, of like an old girlfriend that you didn't even end up marrying or living with that long compared to the other people in your life, is the one that you initially filed the paperwork, because it made sense at the time that she was your living with you, so he said cohabit her. But ultimately, and I don't know, I guess it's being fought over right now, right? And for those of you who have a legal background, you can let me know what you think. It made the Wall Street Journal, so I think when it makes that sort of publication, it's sort of in a gray area where the case could go either way. Does the girlfriend who has the proper paperwork, is she get the old girlfriend, I should say, is she going to get the retirement money, or is it going to be the brothers who are family? I guess in this situation, they were saying that if he were indeed married, then usually probably the spouse would probably have first claim and maybe have get a lawyer and have a case against the girlfriend. But because there's no spouse in this situation or no children, right, then it becomes like a bit of a gray area. Do you go with the girlfriend who has the paperwork filed correctly, or do you go with the brothers who would also be probably pretty old by now as well? I know it's a crazy situation that we're talking about this, but these are the kind of things that happen in life, and there's so many unforeseen circumstances that you can't predict everything, right? And so what you kind of do is, and this is sort of what you think about life in general. Say, I'll just give you examples. Say something like health insurance, which I'm a big proponent of, or health savings accounts, which I'm also a big proponent of. Is like you just never know what's going to happen. You just don't know. And so that's why like say on this channel, we talk about mitigating your risk, protecting your downside, right? Because I know there's a lot of people out there that especially when you're young, you kind of think, oh, I'm never going to get in a car wreck. Oh, I'm never going to get sick. Oh, nothing ever bad's going to happen to me. For me, the older that I get, more like, just because it's life, bad things happen to you like all the time. It's life, and you have to deal with it. And we'll talk about the healthcare one because it's a kind of a related one. If you've ever been sick and then you have to deal with medical costs in the USA, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, and you wish you would have maybe gotten that little bit better insurance, or wish you would have saved a little bit more money for that, right? That kind of thing. If you plan your life to where you're essentially always kind of going right on the edge of what you can afford, or you're always stretching yourself out even more than you can afford, and then something like unexpected happens, things can go awry and fall down very, very quickly. And it's very similar to having the paperwork filed thing. Like, I understand no one really wants to like think about all the bad things that can happen, or in the situation maybe that person did, but he didn't even think to necessarily, how can I say, check with his old employer, Procter & Gamble, like, did they do everything correctly? Like he probably just assumed, oh well, or just really forgot that or never even thought about it. Who knows what's going on in that person's mind? But we don't know. I guess that's the point. We don't know. The person is gone, and so that's why have your will set in place, have your paperwork done correctly, and do the best you can. Think about all of the unexpected things, and that's why it's hard, because they are unexpected. But this is sort of, again, why you want to sit down and take the time to consider it. I always appreciate talking with you in the community about these kind of topics, and I like hearing your stories, because I learn when I share with you, and you guys share with me. So please let me know your thoughts on this one. Where do you think the money should go? I guess that'd be the question. Is it going to go to the brothers or the old girlfriend? And also, too, are you, just ask more of a question rhetorically to ask to yourself, do you have all your paperwork correctly, and are you planning well for the future? So thanks again for watching, everyone, and I'll catch you all in the next video.